Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It's Nigel once again, and this is going to be another wrestling review. So, once again, and both AEW and New Japan find themselves stepping through the Forbidden Door, or it's time once again for AEW Forbidden Door. Or so, of course, as always, I'm not professional, not a professional wrestling reviewer, analyst, or anything like that, just a man who always a good time. And man, what a pay-per-view. Did every match live up to the hype? Hey, not necessarily, but I would say still a very solid pay per view. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And the only reason I'm getting right into it is because this one might take a little bit. It is kind of late as I'm recording this, but of course, if you've seen these reviews before, you kind of know how this works. If you haven't, let me tell you what I liked and disliked about. For starters, why I like and dislike about my camera going in and out. But also, I'm going to talk about what I like and dislike about each match. I'm going to go match by match. The only match I'm not going to be talking about, at least in full detail, are the pre-show matches, and there are 5 pre-show matches instead of the 4 that we did predictions for. There's 5 instead. So literally, they added a match at the 11th hour, or classic AEW. But the match they added was Kyle Fletcher battling Serpentico, and Kyle Fletcher defeated Serpentico. Well, technically it's the shortest match of the night at about 3 minutes, so what was the point? But I guess it gives Kyle Fletcher and Serpentico something to do, but yeah, so Kyle Fletcher defeated Serpentico. Then the Kings of the Black Throne. Oh, and there it is. I was wondering why they weren't called Kings of the Black Throne, but yesterday when I did my predictions, but now they are Kings of the Black Throne. That being Malachi Black and Brody King. Of course, they won the 4-way tag match, which also included, of course, Kyle O'Reilly and Tomohiro Ishii, Rod Strong and Gabe Kidd, and Private Party. He then, and in other tag team action, Willow Nightingale and Tam Nakano defeated Chris Stylander and Momo Watanabe. Mariah May advances in the Women's Owen Hart Cup tournament, and Ashley defeated Saraya, and Lucha Brothers, and Mystico were able to put away Los Ignorables is de Japón. I know I butchered it. They said how to pronounce it as well, but I know I definitely butchered it. I do apologize, but so they pick up the win there. So I think in terms of pre-show of those predictions, I was about. I think I was about. I think I was about. Mostly right. I think I got like 1 or 2 wrong, but something else I do have to address, as I actually was going to do it for System Shock Radio, but instead I'm gonna do something else for System Shock Radio. Instead, and it ties into kind of the theme that we're doing this month, that being talking about the Monday Night War, or so that'll be a little more closely aligned with that. And so stay tuned for that, and check out the update video for more. But I guess I'll address it here. Kind of a bit of a mini debate going on talking about like this card, the AEW cards versus like the WWE cards, where the AEW cards, they load the card up with about 14 matches, like 14, 15 matches. This one has 15. Without the pre-show matches, it has about 10. But in for a long night versus WWE, having shorter cards. Now people have kind of gone back and forth which is better, having more of the matches or having less of the matches, and the answer to that is neither. It's about the quality. Definitely quality over quantity. When it comes to WWE, them having less as Matt Hatchett is like on their cards does allow them to give more attention and focus to each match, and to really build it up and everything, and which is the goal of them having less matches on their card, or that's what they said. That's their like specific goal is is to go for that quality over quantity base. He's don't load the card up so that each match gets its fair build. Each match gets its time to shine. Versus AEW, loading up the card is he gives as many people as possible something to do, and you have a nice long beefy card. It goes all the way pretty much up until midnight. Like the show, pretty much ended off. I think the show went off the air, faded to black, and everything, and right at midnight. Some people prefer kind of longer card, kind of criticizing WWE for not having as many matches. Some people criticize AEW for having too many matches. For me, it's all about the quality. Like if WWE didn't have a whole lot of matches and the pay per view wasn't good, then that's a problem. Versus AEW, like if they load up all these matches, but a lot of them feel half baked, which admittedly, not gonna lie, a couple of them on this card kind of did, but we'll get to those. But also, it has happened with AEW in the past. Like example I can think of, and this is before I really started watching the AEW pay-per-views, was what happened at All Out in 2022, where a lot of people felt like even before what happened afterwards with CM Punk and the Elite and everything, and even before that, people kind of felt like All Out 2022 wasn't really, if I can take the cap off my water bottle, I felt like All Out 2022 was lacking because they overloaded the card, and so a lot of matches had to pretty much had to rush through a lot of the matches, and so the matches didn't quite get all the build and everything that they should have, which really does suck, unfortunately. You want each match to feel fleshed out. You want each match to have its time, and so, admittedly, I think I do. At least for me, and it's not out of like loyalty or like anti AEW pro WWE kind of thing, but WWE having less matches but still having solid enough cards. Now, not every WWE pay per view has been fantastic with like the shorter cards and everything, but if you're gonna have pretty much quality is what we're going for here. So you can have a lot of matches or you can have a few matches. As long as the quality is there, at least as long as each match gets enough time to shine, enough time to feel like pay-per-view quality match, then it doesn't matter the length of the match. But that's more so just me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But now getting into the show proper, starting off with the hometown boy getting the hometown pop early. As MJF battles Hechicero. I believe that's how they pronounce it, Hechicero. So, of course, MJF wanted to face some schmuck from New Japan, and I am kind of paraphrasing his words, but for the most part they are his words. But MJF battling Hechicero here, and of course, is getting the win. And on the main card, or in the main part of the show, this is the shortest match of the night, at about 9 minutes 50 seconds, so just 10 seconds shy of the 10-minute mark. Which you kind of figured it would be. Like MJF. For starters, MJF kind of up to quite a few of his old shenanigans, including the handshake, the sportsmanship handshake, and everything. But it also it kind of wakes the crowd up, gets the crowd hyped up early. Having the hometown boy, of course, we are in Long Island, so having the hometown boy, he started off to get the crowd riled up and fired up for the rest of the show. I think smart move, and MJF hits the win, and then MJF gets the win with the Brainbuster. So it looks like between when MJF confronted Adam Cole at Double or Nothing and nailed him with the Brainbuster, and versus MJF winning with the Brainbuster here, it looks like the Brainbuster, safe to say, maybe added to MJF's repertoire of finisher moves. And MJF actually has a few finishers. He's kind of like Gunther in a regard, where he has a few moves he can finish you off with, whether it be whether it be the Heat Seeker or now the Brainbuster, or of course the Salt of the Earth, aka the Fujiwara Armbar, or MJF adding more and more to his repertoire. MJF looks solid enough here. Hechicero looked pretty good as well. So kind of like so kind of just it's more so an appetizer. Wakes the crowd up, gets the crowd fired up, and MJF gets the win in his hometown. But next up in trios action, the Elite, that being the Young Bucks, the EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, and the Rainmakers, Kazuchika Okada, battle the Acclaimed, and Hiroshi Tanahashi, aka the Scissor Ace. The wiki, so I guess the wiki wasn't totally accurate with stuff, which is kind of par for the course for Wikipedia, but it looks like the whole team was being referred to as the Scissor Ace, but here on the show it's just Tanahashi being referred to as the Scissor Ace. But a couple things, preliminaries, before we begin. For starters, here's the promo package. The hype package they had going to the match was hilarious. Like the Young Bucks, I absolutely lost it. It was like laughing really hard when the Young Bucks showed like their highlights and stuff, calling like the Acclaimed and everything sadistic, but also like showing their moments from New Japan and blurring out Kenny Omega's face. That actually was hilarious. Like when they blur out the faces because they can't show the person for legal reasons, copyright reasons, what have you. Who I'm noticing, like I'm playing through the showcase mode in W2K24 against my better judgment, but they do that quite a bit because they don't own the rights to some of the characters. But it's hilarious that like they had to blur out Kenny Omega's face. That was pretty funny. Yeah, but the other thing is with the Young Bucks entrance, I don't think I've addressed it. The Young Bucks entrance, it's cool on paper, but I feel like it's a little weird. So the Young Bucks entrance is that at the back part, the part of the stage raises up, and then the Young Bucks come up through the floor, or kind of like the Cody Vader style. Remember they did that for a few weeks when Cody first came back to WWE, and then they stopped that because it botched. So the backdrop comes up, and the Young Bucks like shoot up from the floor. It's a cool entrance on paper, but I feel like it is a little weird. Like I feel like either they should wait until the glass part is all the way up, like the back part slowly raises up, and then while it's raising up, then the Young Bucks come up, and then it goes from there. So it does have that. I feel like they should wait till it raises all the way up, and then wait till it raises all the way up, and then you lift the Young Bucks up, and or wait until and or like raise the Young Bucks up slowly. Like the Young Bucks up, like when the Young Bucks are raising up from the floor, like instead of raising slowly all the way up, and then they come up through that part, their entrance, they shoot up kind of, and then raise up slowly. Like they shoot, like it shoots up and then raises them up slowly. That's always kind of weird and kind of jarring. Like it looks like it's accidental, but obviously it's just part of their entrance because they've had this entrance now for a while now in their theme song, which their theme song is actually pretty solid. But I'm gonna say so myself. Some people have drawn the comparison between like it and Roman's theme, which I can kind of hear it, but it does sound pretty solid for the most part. But yeah, so I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm kind of nitpicking here. Maybe it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, and honestly, it probably doesn't. But the entrance, I think, is kind of weird. Having that, like the dynamic of the entrance is kind of weird. It is cool though when they drop the coin and then that triggers Kazuchika Okada's entrance, and And as for the match itself, hope some pretty fun, solid action between the two sides. The Young Bucks and Okada getting their stuff in, and Okada a story throughout the match that Okada like ducking Tanahashi. He's wanting to come in, wanting to go after Okada. Okada's having none of it until eventually they get their hands on each other. And of course, also worth mentioning, Matt Hacks with a scathing grab on his way to the ring, and he rhymes the word not twice, but thrice. Yeah. Otherwise, some solid enough action between the two sides. With eventually the Young Bucks picking up the win, the Young Bucks and Okada, the Elite essentially, picking up the win, and with Okada nailing Tanahashi with the Rainmaker, but. Yeah, afterwards, continuing to attack them until Billy Gunn, Daddy Ass, makes the save. So things seem to be far from over between the Acclaimed and the Young Bucks, which I imagine will likely lead into the Blood and Guts match. So, who's going to be the fifth person for the Young Bucks team, and then who are they going to face? I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But nevertheless, yeah. So a fun enough match there, and some solid trios action. But then next up in the men's Owen Hart in the first round match in the men's Owen Hart Cup tournament, and Bryan Danielson battles Shingo Takagi. Shingo Takagi wants to capture the AEW World Championship. Bryan Danielson wants to be champion, as this is, I believe this is his final. I believe they did say this year that he's in right now. How is his final year as a full-time AEW superstar? Or he's not completely leaving the ring, but he's kind of gonna be like semi-retired, like showing up occasionally. So wanting to win the World Championship at least once before switching over to part-time. But as for this one, a really solid match. Like definitely he's some hard shot, some scary moments between the two. Who definitely, these two definitely brought it to each other. Ultimately, Bryan Danielson making Takagi submit, not like tap out submit, but verbally submit after having like all his body parts wrapped up. Not the last time they used that spot in the night though, but afterward to show respect. Although Takagi can't shake Danielson's hand because his arm's like messed up. But yeah, some pretty solid action between the two. So Bryan Danielson does advance in the Owen Hart Cup tournament, but next up for the AEW Women's World Championship, Timeless Toni Storm defends against Mina Shirakawa. And Mirai May is in the corner of both the competitors. Mirai May kind of caught in the middle. Toni Storm, or as Toni Storm defends against Mina Shirakawa. Of course, Mirai May and Mina Shirakawa teamed up together while in Stardom. Meanwhile, Timeless Toni Storm has taken Mirai May on as her protege, taking her under her wing. Even Mirai May dressing up as like the old version of Toni Storm before the character her switch. Some pretty solid action between the two, and Mirai May not really playing too much a factor in this match, kind of just being there, which I guess does play into the story of her being conflicted and everything, conflicted on who she wants to help out, but at the same time, like, why is she there then in the first place? Like if she was like, say, hey, in the back, like they send her to the back, like, hey, you're gonna be neutral, so we're gonna send you to the back for this match. You're not gonna get involved in this match. It probably would have went down about the same, but ultimately, Toni Storm putting away Shirakawa with the Storm Zero, and then afterward, everybody's friends. Everybody makes up a three-way kiss even, and between Storm, Shirakawa, and Mariah May. Hey, as Tony Storm retains, and still in a black and white match, but at this point we give up hope. But a guy can dream. But next Zack Sabre Jr. battles freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. So essentially, a battle a year in the making. Last year, Orange Cassidy won a fatal four-way to battle, I believe, or I believe it was the AEW World Championship he was battling for, or in or it might have been just a four-way. So, but either way, Zack Sabre Jr. wanting to avenge his loss to Orange Cassidy. Something I noticed. Orange Cassidy, I guess, as "Where Is My Mind" by the Pixies, just for pay-per-views only, kind of a similar deal with like Bryan Danielson's final countdown by Europe, of course. Meanwhile, when AEW was here in Buffalo, Orange Cassidy came out to Jane. So I guess the pay-per-view only thing, which I guess makes sense. Bryan Danielson came out to his regular music as well, worth mentioning. But Zack Sabre Jr. And Orange Cassidy, which Orange Cassidy vowed to pin in Zack Sabre Jr. with his hands in his pockets. Was Orange Cassidy able to do so? Well, kinda, but he wasn't able to get the win off of it. But surprising to see Orange Cassidy matching technical prowess with Zack Sabre Jr. Or Orange Cassidy, you forget, like, with his gimmick and how kind of silly it is, you forget exactly how talented he is. But being able to show that against Zack Sabre Jr., arguably one of the best technical wrestlers on the planet, it's to the point where he and Bryan Danielson had a whole goddamn rivalry over it. It's leading into Wrestle Dream last year, but Orange Cassidy able to match scraps for the most part with Zack Sabre Jr., even in wrapping Zack Sabre Jr. up, but ultimately Zack folding up Orange Cassidy to where Orange Cassidy had to verbally submit and Zack Sabre Jr. got the win from there. So, solid encounter between the two, and kind of a show of respect between the two, including Zack Sabre Jr. handing Orange Cassidy his sunglasses. So, Zack Sabre Jr. Gets the win from that. Whereas Orange Cassidy go from here, we'll find out in the near future as he seeks to rebuild and everything after the dissolution of the best friends and being turned on by not one but two of his best friends, unfortunately. Next up in trios action in Samoa Joe, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata battle the Learning Tree, that being the Learning Tree himself, Chris Jericho, the Redwood Big Bill, and Jeff Cobb, who of course are accompanied by the Bad Apple, Brian Keith. Of course, these two sides have been going at it for a while, stemming from Jericho wanting to mentor Hook, then taking the FTW Championship from him, which has like, I don't know if I mentioned this as well because it was the same deal at Dynasty and Double or Nothing, but it has pretty much ripping into Chris Jericho, which does make sense, and coming to the defense of his son and everything, but also Taz saying Jericho should not be FTW champion, which Taz, I do kind of agree. So looking to at least get even more of a bit of a settled score here between the two sides. So pretty decent action between the two, including both Hook and Katsuyori Shibata, both doing the nope spot on, I believe it was Chris Jericho, who they did the nope spot on, and Samoa Joe, like smiling, pretty much grinning from ear to ear like a proud dad. Not the first time it happened. It happened on Dynamite where Shibata did like the walkaway spot, and Samoa Joe just like smiling, like pretty much smiling like a proud dad. Being able to show some hate stuff between all six guys, and this is why I also say, hey, that and I kind of briefly touched upon it yesterday when I talked about my prediction and everything, how just because you don't necessarily know someone doesn't automatically mean bad. Like, and shows like this, so you get to know someone. Wasn't really familiar with Jeff Cobb, but seeing him in the ring was pretty impressive, and ultimately Hook getting the win for his team. Him after hitting Jericho with a nasty with a nasty Judas effect. Why does Hook's Judas effect look better than Jericho's? But Hook nailing Jericho with a Judas effect in order to pick up the win, and so getting a win there. And I imagine we'll continue to see the feud escalate from here. Will Hook get the FW Championship back from Chris Jericho? Oh, we will find out. But interesting that both Jericho himself and the faction are both called the Learning Tree. That is a bit strange, I will say. Jericho's Learning Tree, but the stables also the Learning Tree. It's a little bit weird. It'd be the same if Roman Reigns called himself the tribal chief, but the whole stable is also called the tribal chief. He's that's a little strange. I kind of get it, but at the same time, I call Jericho the main branch or something, and I don't know, but also I mentioned it in my predictions, and the Learning Tree's starting to slowly grow on me. No pun intended, but I don't know, something about it. Whether it be Big Bill getting that TV time alongside Brian Keith, or Chris Jericho acting like a grade A dork, or something about it. It is starting to grow on me a little bit, I must admit. But next up for the AEW TNT Championship, for the vacant TNT Championship, of course, there's Jack Perry, aka the Scapegoat, holds the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Dante Martin, Leo Rush, and El Phantasmo all seek to become TNT champion. So, of course, there's Adam Copeland got injured back at Double or Nothing in his match against Malachi Black. So he was forced to vacate the TNT Championship. Jack Perry, he was going to be handed the title, but Christopher Daniels said no. We're gonna have qualifying matches and a ladder match to determine the new TNT champion. And that being said, though, Jack Perry walked out the winner anyway. It almost makes you question what's the point then, but I guess it also kind of furthers the story between Christopher Daniels and, to an extent, the rest of the AEW locker room, going against the now power hungry elite and everything. But still a pretty fun match. Ladder matches are, of course, my bread and butter. So, of course, there's all if there's gonna be some demolition derby, car crash, ladder action, sign me up. And this match definitely had it in spades. You notice I don't go blow by blow mostly because my memory's kind of trash, but also because especially with this one, there was quite a bit going on. And so kind of to give you some of the highlights, including Konosuke Takeshita hitting probably one of the best table breaks ever, or nailing I believe it was Dante Martin with the Blue Thunder Bomb off the apron through the table setup. That was pretty cool. And ultimately, after everybody wiped themselves out, Jack Perry coming in to capture the TNT Championship. So Jack Perry is the TNT champion. And also worth mentioning, Jack Perry got both a "We Want Real Glass" chant and a CM Punk chant before another dueling CM Punk chant came in. And not the last time that a spontaneous chant would break out. Oh no! But now that Jack Perry's TNT champion, and where will things unfold from here? We will find out. But now, next up for both the AEW TBS Championship and the New Japan Strong Women's Championship in winner takes all action. Mercedes Moné defends against Stephanie Vaquer, and obviously Stephanie Vaquer defends against Mercedes Moné. So, Mercedes Moné is the TBS champion. She won it back at Double or Nothing. Stephanie Vaquer is the New Japan Strong Women's champion, and these two have been going at it, and now it's time for title and some pretty solid action between the two. Even though Mercedes Moné / Sasha Banks does have her fair share of his ass mainly throughout her career, definitely can't take anything away from her. She definitely knows how to put on a solid encounter, and I would say she had a pretty solid encounter with the Vaquer here. Her getting to see some of what Vaquer can do and seeing what Moné could do. It was pretty fun, pretty interesting to see. He ultimately, Mercedes Moné getting the win over Stephanie Vaquer, so she is now both the CBS champion and the New Japan Strong Women's champion. And kind of a weird moment after Moné got the win, where she kind of just stared at both titles before grabbing them and posing at them. Not entirely sure what that was, but I think it was supposed to be like milking the moment, her being emotional that she's now the double champion. But it did look kind of weird. But then afterward, the Doctor will see you now, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. He is back, and she confronted Mercedes Moné from the entranceway, meaning Mercedes Moné forgot to eat her apple for the day. Hey, I know Britt Baker's not really she's not that kind of doctor. She's a dentist, but still, it works for the sake of the joke. So it looks like Dr. Britt Baker is next up to challenge for the TBS champion and TBS championship, I should say. She's obviously going to feud and challenge the TBS champion, Mercedes Moné. So it looks like that feud's on the rise. And as for this one, pretty solid match. But then next up in the semi-main event, and for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Jon Moxley defends against Tetsuya Naito. So of course, Jon Moxley won the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship from Tetsuya Naito. And I do have to make a correction, and they clarified this is in the kind of promo package. Moxley actually was not IWGP World Champion before he won it this year. He was chasing it that whole time. I thought he had won it previously, but I think I might have got confused with the United States Championship. But nevertheless, Moxley is World Champion here, and Naito wants the championship back. So was he able to take the championship from Jon Moxley? Well, yes. That's in fact. This match was okay, a bit on the slow side. I'm not gonna lie. It didn't quite live up to the hype. This one kind of I didn't want to be too harsh on this match, but until I did speak with one of my friends who also watched the event, and she kind of confirmed my suspicions that this match was a bit on the slow side. Unfortunately, unfortunately not the best encounter. Not necessarily a bad match. Just a little bit hit slow for my liking. But I'd also need Naito picking up the win over Jon Moxley here. So Mox has lost the IWGP World Championship, but yeah, so kind of just an okay match, I would say. I did kind of take the wind out of the sails of the crowd a little bit. But perhaps they were saving their energy for this next match in the main event, and for the AEW World Championship. Swerve Strickland defends again, and the aerial assassin Will Ospreay, aka the international champion Will Ospreay. So these two were friends, but that friendship long gone now. How becoming bitter rivals over the World Championship. So it all comes to a head here, and this match definitely a solid way to end the show. These two absolutely brought it. Like this match had quite a bit of hype. hype and like intrigue and excitement going into it hit from the fans, and they absolutely delivered. Or that being Swerve and Osprey, they absolutely delivered. They definitely did not disappoint at all. Like both men definitely brought it here. Her quite a bit of like fast paced offensive hard hits. It's between the two. Some number of false finishes, moments where we thought it was going to be over, but it wasn't, including Will Ospreay kicking out of not one but two house calls. And it was during this match where it kind of put the piece together. So Ospreay had kind of been, and the discourse on social media, more specifically Twitter, is that Will Ospreay doesn't really sell. Like, he no sells quite a bit. The thing is, Ospreay sells, but it's a different kind of sell. Like he doesn't do the traditional selling where you get hit with the move and then you stay down for a while. Well, Ospreay, it's hit with the move, feels that surge of adrenaline, allows it to push him forward, and then sells it right after. Or whether you prefer that style of selling to the traditional, to the selling in the traditional sense, that's up to you. But Ospreay a bit different in that regard, including when he got hit with one of the house calls and nailed Swerve with the hidden blade. And even Swerve getting a hidden blade in the match as well. Don Callis has showed up, wanted Will Ospreay to use the screwdriver. Hey, it's been a while since we've seen the screwdriver, but Ospreay didn't want to do it. Ospreay even looked kind of spooked by the screwdriver. As until Prince Nana took out Don Callis, and then Ospreay grabbed at Prince Nana and was holding up the screwdriver. Which, jeez, and he wasn't aiming at Nana's head. He was we might have it was gonna get dark. That's all I'll say. Hey, I'll keep it YouTube friendly. It was gonna get dark. Which, jeez, Ospreay. Yeah, I know you want the world title, but jeez, man. But Ospreay ultimately kind of comes to his senses, realizes what he's doing, and drops the screwdriver from there. And that allows Swerve to pick up the win. Not with the Swerve Stomp, not with the house call, but instead with big pressure. Which honestly, between the three moves, I think I probably prefer the Swerve Stomp to finish off opponents. But big pressure's not a bad one either. But Swerve ultimately putting away Ospreay, and they show some respect afterwards. So pretty solid encounter there. It has the story beats. Danny Garcia was kind of hanging out in the crowd, out up there. Thankfully, it didn't look as awkward as when MJF did it. I forgot which match he did that for her, but thankfully it didn't look as awkward as then. But obviously, Daniel Garcia is going to be facing Will Ospreay for the International Championship. If Ospreay said he wanted to defend both titles against Danny Garcia, which well, sorry, Danny boy, you're gonna have to settle for one title. But yeah, so a fantastic, phenomenal main event, and that was Forbidden Door. Pretty solid show on the whole, I would say, for the most part. All right. As for the strongest and the weakest match of the night, for the strongest, definitely the main event. The main event, and it was the match that had the most hype, and it definitely lived up to the hype. Hopefully, this isn't the last time these two have fought, and I highly doubt it is. But as for the weakest match, probably Mox versus Naito, unfortunately. But nevertheless, that's going to do it for this event. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video so you can see as soon as it drops. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts on Forbidden Door and my review. Did you like Forbidden Door? Did you like my review of Forbidden Door? Let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.